Hey everybody, welcome to session number 1 for August. Really happy to see so many of you here today. You made it. You made it. If you can't figure out how to get your camera on or how to work a chat box later, or it's okay. You're here. As long as you can hear what's going on, you're in great shape. So I'm curious how many brand new members we have. If it's your first time in my groups, would you just wave? Pick up a hand. Oh, I see you waving. Let me look around. Keep going. Keep going. Well, hey, y'all. Thanks for trying us out. I hope it's a great month. I've already prayed for you. As soon as you purchase the coaching session, it pops up on my watch and on my phone, and our family has said your name already. Thank you, God, for Erica, Suzanne, and all of you new folks that are here. And we just stop and have a word of prayer for you this month. So I'm glad to put a face with the name. All right, how many of you are back? You've been here before, you know what's going on. All right, if you do, then you know that there is a very silly way that we say welcome back to the returning members that starts off looking something like this. Everybody ready? Set, go. Na 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 na. Honestly, you get better and better. It's really good. No one knows why we chicken dance. I have no idea why I started chicken dancing, but I taught music for 20 years. I'm sure that plays a part. Okay, so today, if you are dying to look at spreadsheets and calculate macros, figure out your TDEE, learn the details of fat fasting, and find out your perfect protein intake, today is not exactly all that. Okay, it will be this month. Please don't panic. Don't go. Just stay. Session 1. Well, first of all, I have already mailed you the TDEE. I've mailed you the handbook. It's got lots of that information if you want to do some reading before I get into it this month. And I will get into all that this month. Returning members, can you back me up on this? Will I be talking about some calories, macros in the breakout rooms, fat fasting? Will there be a spreadsheet for those that want it?
Extensively.
Thank you. Extensively. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Thank you. But in session 1, my primary goal today, we're going to talk through some sort of the emotional side of addiction. And even if you think, oh, I'm through with that, I don't know if I'm through with that yet, frankly. We're going to talk about consistency in carnivore life. I'd love for us to just get focused, get to know some of the teammates here, share some benefits you've experienced. So a little later in the meeting, I'll ask if a few people want to unmute and share something cool or something even really lame that has changed and gotten better with carnivore. And here's one. I have forgotten this until through the years people have mentioned it. And today was one of those days. This lady at the 10 o'clock meeting said, I used to have to sit down about once, I can't remember now, she said once a week or once a month. Ever so often, that's how we'd say it in the South, ever so often, and trim off the dead skin that was on her heels. I know, grody, right? They were cracked and dried, and she thought, well, this is just what old lady feet look like. I had that in my 20s. I would not wear flip-flops or open-toed shoes. Well, open-heeled shoes. And she said, my heels are so soft and mine are too. So it could be something as simple as that. So I'll ask later if you would rather unmute and say it or type it in the chat box. And I think for right now, though, we are going to get on with a bit of a presentation. Okay. Sometimes we have a lot of share time at the beginning. Sometimes we have Q&A sessions, but typically in session 1, this is, well, I have all new slides and clips today. Okay, I did send out something called the onboarding video. It was not like cinematic magic or anything. You probably won't laugh or cry, but maybe laugh. It talks through Zoom and how the month is going to go. So if you missed that, it'll be on today's email, or maybe you're just figuring it out like a champion right now. Good job. In that video, I did mention more details, but I just want to quickly say, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, you still can. It's password protected. I sent you the password. Nobody there will know what you post. Nobody outside of the group can even know that you're a member. Like, it's private. But if you go there and click on the featured section, you'll find all of the recordings will be put there throughout the month. Every single day, I post about just my commitments, if I kept them, if what I ate, my movement, and other people post as well. And if you want to share something with me, that's how you do it. You go over to the Facebook page. You don't have to put it under featured, just share something there. I check those pages. You could tag me if you want, but please don't bother with Facebook Messenger. It is a black hole. I'll never see Facebook Messenger. The Facebook page, yes. Okay. I also like to occasionally laugh a little. I hope none of you mind a bit of humor throughout the group, but I have a point with this. Check her out.
When I first saw women walking around in weighted vests, I thought to myself, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It looked like the DEA is about to serve a warrant for the wrong colored hydrangeas. I'm like, Dog the Bounty Hunter exclusively recruiting from Joann Fabrics? These women are stomping around town in their hokas like they're about to raid a Hobby Lobby. Anyway, I bought one because I'm a schmuck, and I'm the type of consumer who buys everything that everyone else has without doing any research. Very little research, if any. I've been scraping my tongue with like a shoehorn just because some 14-year-old told me I should do so on the internet. I wear mouth tape at night. I have no idea what that's for. I guess you can't eat if you have mouth tape. That's a good thing, but I can still snort cottage cheese. I take creatine. I have no idea what that's for. I'm going to have an Adam's apple soon. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great summer.
I saw Elle Ludden and Janet and Elizabeth. Some of you were on the same page, sense of humor was. Okay, look, I do have a weighted vest. I love it, but I know why I'm wearing it. And if you were in the July groups, you know why we're wearing it too. I also do own Hokas. I love them. They're squishy. I don't know. I do mouth tape. It's not so I can't eat. And yes, I've tried creatine, but it made me gassy and bloated, so I didn't keep taking it. I have never snorted cottage cheese, but this month I do want to present ideas, but I want to give you the research behind it. I don't want you blindly following rules or blindly making purchases where you're like, I don't know, I guess we just wear vests and snort cottage cheese, I suppose. I want this to be a place where you can feel safe to share your experience with something. I'll frequently say, okay, so today we're talking about red light therapy. If you have a box and you want to share your experience, good, bad, or ugly, I just want honest. And yeah, also I like Hobby Lobby. Sue me. Okay. All right, a rebel with a cause. And I'll explain a little more what that means, but this lady is called That Carnivore Nurse.
I'm staying with some family at the moment, and we all were sitting down for dinner the other day, and my uncle opens a bottle of wine and he starts serving everyone wine, and he turns to me and he goes, "Oh Lucy, are you allowed to drink wine?" And I get this question a lot. I get people coming to me and asking, "Are you allowed to eat this? Are you allowed to have cheese? Or are you allowed to have fruit?" And I find it so interesting because I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I don't wake up every day and think, okay, I'm going to try really hard to not allow myself all these foods, and I'm only going to stick to animal products, and hopefully I can get through the day. I do not think like that. I'm allowed to do anything I want every day, and I know that, but yet I still choose to only eat animal foods. And it's because of this principle why I think carnivore diets, animal-based diets work so well. Once you can get over the initial sugar cravings and the ultra-processed food cravings at the start, when you can get over that, it's so easy. You can stop trying to eat a certain way. Your default will be animal foods because it will be what you crave, it will be what makes you feel good, and you just wouldn't want to choose anything else. I could have every single food on this planet in front of me right now, anything you could think of, and I will still pick the steak and the eggs. It's exactly what I want every day at every meal. And that principle is the key to a good way of eating. It has to be easy. You can't try every day. As soon as you're trying to do something, you're doomed. It's not going to work. It won't be sustainable. But if you can adopt a proper human diet, a way of eating that supports your body, tastes amazing, and happens to be appropriate and healthy, then your life will change forever.
All right. So let's be really clear here. If you are just starting carnivore, Oh, you are going to definitely have to try if you're like most people. If you were addicted to sugar, there's going to be some trying. My first couple of weeks were very trying, as a matter of fact. It was hard. But to her point, she said, once you get through that initial addiction, and I doubt many people here at that point, we don't wake up and go, oh, I think I can do it one more day. No, it just becomes like, ooh, I'm hungry. I need some meat. So I don't care one bit about food rules or sticking to a plan just for the sake of sticking to a plan. There is no perfect carnivore award that I'm aware of. If there is, I'm probably going to try for it, but there's not. Okay. There's not. And that's not why I avoid other foods. It's because I know this is how I feel my best. I've tried having all the other stuff. I've tried it the low fat way. I've tried it the low calorie, low fat way. I've tried the veggies. Okay. I tried plant based. I know that didn't work and now I feel better. That's why I stay strict. Some people wouldn't say I'm strict. I drink decaf coffee, flavored seltzers, and use seasonings. That's why I say stay strict enough to feel good. That's what it's about for me. I want you to feel good and get positive results. Okay, I will be sharing this month what works for me. And I hope you will share what works for you. But at some point, those two things may not be identical, and that's really okay. I do not want to get in the way of your progress. So I may at some point try to convince people to have some breakfast. And my husband says that I'm very convincing. But if you know for sure that you're getting great results and you don't eat breakfast and you feel like $1,000,000, I'm not here to stop your progress. I promise. Third thing, I have no willpower at all. I'm serious. If I really want something, even if it's something on Amazon, I feel like a toddler sometimes, like Annie in a pet shop. She just wants everything. Fortunately, she doesn't have the budget. So it's not willpower. That's not how I do this. It's because I avoided all of the addictive substances long enough that it was out of my system. And then I felt better. And then I became kind of hooked on that. Now I just want to feel good. And lastly, this is the rebel part. I don't really have a big rebellious streak. I was a really not rebellious kid. My parents would be like, this is true. I really was not. But when somebody says to me, hey, here's what you should do. You should, especially if they aren't paying any of my bills, then I'm like, I hate that. Do any of you hate that too? Okay. The you shoulds. And it feels like then I just want to buck and do the total opposite. So when somebody gives me rules, not like following the law, like traffic rules, it makes me kind of want to do the opposite. I eat only animal products. And that means that I have rebelled against most all mainstream advice. I have bucked most every doctor out there. The food pyramid has no power over me. I'm already a rebel. If you in your former dieting days of different diets found that you were always breaking the rules, this could be a mental shift for you. I am already breaking all the rules just by doing this darn thing and taking control of my health and staying off of their pharmaceuticals. Rule breaker. They have already said they have said what I should do. You should eat your vegetables. You should do that. So at this point, I'm not sticking to carnivore because of rules. It's literally because it works for me. Okay. I know that sounds really easy. So why do we keep doing this? This is really short. Don't blink. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do do ba do boo do a boo ba do ba do boo ba do. Bless it. I think in most every area of life, we've probably been there before. Like, oh, I'm out, I'm free. And then you're like, yay, and we're back in. Why are we back in this carb ditch again? Addiction is serious. I sat down and tried to think of some reasons that people would go back in the ditch when they were just set free and feeling better. Free as a bird. I think there is a lifelong association with particular foods and the idea that they give pleasure. So for me, I used to go get my nails done a lot. And it wasn't because I kind of cared about nails, but it was partly because when I had any free time, and I did not have much free time back then. I did not. But I got a little free time. I had sort of been programmed to go, oh, what do we do for self-care? Oh, I should get my nails done. I should relax and get my nails done. So I did about every 4 to 6 weeks. And now clearly I do not. And it's partly because I eventually had this realization that when I leave the nail salon, I do not feel more fulfilled, more at peace, more relaxed. Maybe you do. If you do, that's great. Keep getting your nails done. I started to realize the times when I feel the most is like today when I walked to the meadow in the rain, but with an umbrella with Annie. And we just talked and we tried to find the neighborhood cat. And it was great. So I thought, there are other forms of self-care. And if you have always associated relaxing with, I'm going to get my bowl of snacks and sit on the couch, then it can be such a habit to think, wait a minute, but that ends up making me feel bad, not good. It might be fun for a minute, but I need to find another way to fill up my bucket to re-energize. I also want to acknowledge that these foods that we're addicted to were designed to be exactly that. Incredibly hard to step away from with, a team of highly paid people to make it as addictive as possible. Another thing I thought of is it takes a little practice to get used to delaying gratification. As in, if I were to eat this right now, I would instantly feel something a little good. If I don't eat it right now, I'm going to kind of instantly be unhappy about that. But in the long run, I'm going to get such bigger benefits. And you might imagine the gratification that would come from getting back in a pair of pants that don't fit, or being free from addiction, or having your joints not ache at all. Like, these are big payoffs that take longer than 5 seconds for a short, tiny lived payoff. I was explaining this next one to my daughter today. Why this again is why do we jump back in that ditch? And I said, in our family, this hasn't been the case, Annie, but for when I was a kid and for many other people, the people that we loved and trusted, the adults in our lives, showed us love, affection, helped us through hard times if we were hurt with junky treats. And that's how we experienced, oh, you're hurting here. Let me give you this. And you pacify with it, a sucker or whatever it was. And then it went to bigger treats. And so then when it comes time to show other people love as adults, that's just how we were kind of trained. When it comes time to show ourselves love as adults, that's what our first go-to. So it takes practice to find other ways. I think a lack of support when you're at a party and people say, oh, just have a little bite. It's not going to kill you, right? Peer pressure did not end in our teens. People are pushy, right? Next, I think sometimes, and this is sad but true, I think we sometimes think we might deserve to feel this way based on our years of bad choices, based on who we are. We think we might deserve whatever it is, the joint pain, the addiction, this extra weight. Maybe we just don't think we deserve to be free and to reach our goals and to feel good. And that's a very deep topic, which I'm not going to get into right now, but I think it is a reason people go back to addiction. And I know this next one for me has been huge. If you're not there yet, hold your cute little horses, because here it is. When things are going really well and the weight's coming off and you're feeling energy and everything is great, I always found it very easy to stick to what I'm doing. That's not the case for all people, but it was for me. Like, this is working. I will keep doing it. It's when it stops giving the results and you're like, okay, the scale is not going down. In fact, it jumped up for a couple days. My pants are no looser than they were 2 months ago. And I had some killer stalls. And that's when, for me, it's like, then why am I doing this? I don't get the quick gratification and I'm not feeling the long-term gratification. And in those moments, I had to sort of think, well, what would I go back to? Nothing else worked. And also, what benefits have I experienced? Like, well, at least I'm not getting boils, right? There's that. At least I haven't gained back the whatever pounds I'd lost. And the last one, I think this is very big, is I think we sometimes jump back into the ditch because we are trying to numb a hurt. And this clip gets a little deep. They have blocked out the words heroin, meth or methamphetamines, and cocaine because you can't say those words on YouTube. So they put asterisks on the screen. And if you think, well, I've never tried any of those. Yeah, me too. Me neither. Okay. But this talk applies to any and all addictions, I believe.
Tell us what the hell did for you.
It completely numbed the agitation, it quietened the mind. Everything went soft, is how I'd explain it.
And you talk about a warmth.
Warm, yeah, a warm.
And safety.
Yeah, like a blanket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the addiction wasn't your problem. Your problem was the lack of safety, the lack of inner warmth, the lack of a sense of belonging, lack of peace. So my first point about addiction is that it's not a primary problem, it's not a disease, it's actually a solution to a problem. So the real question is, where did the problem come from? Your parents own drinking, and your terror, you would sit there at the window while your brothers were sleeping, waiting for your parents to drive home, hoping that they'll make it home alive from their drinking. So terrible fear. And let me ask you this, who did you talk to about those feelings?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That gives us the message that, kid, you're all alone, you're on your own, and that creates coldness, anxiety, fear. And then the opiate comes along and says, oh, no, Brian, no, you're safe. No, you're warm. A parent and infant are looking into each other's eyes and are really connected. They both have endorphins, natural opiates flowing in their brains.
Okay.
So when the opiate comes along later, the meth or the heroin that you did is giving you what you should have had in the first place.
The feeling that I needed, yeah.
The feeling you needed, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's your biggest trauma.
Okay.
Is how alone you were.
Okay.
So the pain and the fear are not the trauma itself. It's the being alone with it that creates the trauma.
Yeah. I've never looked at it that way before. That's like shit to landing for me, quite heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think with any addiction, it is worth asking, what am I attempting to numb away right now? And if you're holding, whatever is your trigger food, whatever it is you're craving, and you go, well, this is not meat, but I want it so bad. What is it you're attempting to numb away? Does that substance, that food, that whatever it is you're going back to, does it align with your goals and what you really want for yourself, with your own healing? What is it I'm hoping that this substance will help me handle in this moment? What's at the root of this addiction? And if you think, because I'm hungry, I want to eat it because I'm hungry, then this is very good news. If it's meat and you are hungry, then you should definitely eat that. If you're holding something or thinking about something, triggered by something that's not meat, I'll put it this way. If you are truly hungry, then you really need to get some nutrition. I would suggest meat, eggs, maybe dairy, if it works for you. If you do not want any of those things, then you aren't actually hungry. You have something else going on. And if hunger isn't your problem, there's no food out there. You say, but that's not what I want. There's no food that will fix what's wrong in this moment. If burger patties, fried eggs, and some chicken wings can't help you through it, it's not hunger. So then we can say, okay, well, then what is it? Am I just lonely, disconnected? Am I bored? Is there a deeper thing that happened to me a long time ago that I have never actually acknowledged how alone I was in that? Am I just angry or anxious deep underneath and I want something to distract? Do I just need a distraction? Is there any other distraction that wouldn't hurt you? Is there anything else you could do to alleviate whatever it is that you are feeling? Chapter 1 in the handbook has a section called How to Determine True Hunger. If this topic interests you and you would like to hear more, there is information there. And all of Chapter 9 is about emotional eating, including at least one video, maybe more than one there. But as he says, very often handling whatever it was alone, feeling like I am alone, is at the root of the deepest trauma. So if you were to go through something awful, I mean, if your home burned down, but you had family there to say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me help you. Oh, tell me what it was like. And you've got support. But very often the deepest traumas were never spoken, have never been acknowledged, and you just felt alone. So I think our disconnection in today's world from people, from our creator, from our savior, I think all of that leaves us feeling alone, even though we aren't. And I very much hope that being in a group, that you will be able to look at each other in the eye here shortly, that you'll be able to hear people's stories, that you'll hear that they've been through something as well, that you can go to the Facebook page and say, I just wanted to share this, and I don't feel comfortable talking about it in my day-to-day life. But we probably don't know people in your day-to-day life, so share anything you wish. This was a 1 hour long podcast, and I cropped it, I sped it up, I tried to pick out the key points to get it down to 2 minutes. It is Ben Azadi interviewing Bitten Johnson, who has been working in the field of sugar addiction for about 40 years.
For one person who is about to start the ketogenic diet, they're an addict, right? And they want to do keto, they want to get healthy, they want to lose weight. What would be this person's first 2 or 3 steps?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say that I think keto diet is the best diet for a broken brain and for addicts. I really believe that after all these years, that I work with different food plans, but they need support. So first of all, I would suggest that people take it serious. To be at home and eat a little bit sugar every day, that's going to make it explode. You're not going to be able to make it because you're putting the drug in. You can't do that with cocaine and alcohol either. It's not going to work.
You actually, for your clients, you have them go on an LSD trip. Can you talk about that?
Many years ago, when I studied insulin and leptin and all that, I learned that to increase insulin sensitivity, you had to walk, not high intensity training. You walked far, for a long time. It was time, but you didn't have to walk really fast. But the thing was to move, wander. We're made to wander and walk. So then I heard the saying, a long, slow distance. That's an LSD trip. So that's one of my absolute favorite tools to do, to walk, because I think we're made for walking. So
got it.
Because it's only one day at a time. You can never go further with an addict. You can do it for today, only today, no matter what, to yourself. I don't eat that no matter what. You make up stuff like that. You create these mantras, these frameworks for your day, and you listen to other people. When you do the drug, you have activity in the reward center and the reptilian brain. And that one is street smart, but not very intelligent. And it's very ego. I want my drug when I want my drug. But when you share about yourself and listen to others share, you have activity in the reward center and the prefrontal cortex. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So your brain actually heals when you listen to others talking about how they do it.
Your brain actually heals when you listen to others talk about how they do it, how they make it through hard times, how they broke the addiction. Yes. Okay, quick points. She said ketones are awesome for helping to break addiction. I agree. You don't have to be in a high state of ketosis, but as you bring down carbs and glucose comes down, even if you can get 0.3 ketones, people start to say, oh, I don't feel like I need the alcohol as much. I don't feel like I need the carbs as much. And she says that tends to hold true with many other addictions, even hard drugs. Moderation does not work for addicts. If we could moderate, we would not have been addicts, okay? Walking long, slow distances is powerful for breaking addictions. Take it one day at a time or even one meal at a time. Some of you have said, I can commit to 1 month at a time. But please don't commit to an entire lifetime. I meet new carnivores who go, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I'm like, wow, okay. That feels like a lot to take on with anything. If all you can commit to is the very next meal, but then say, and I will do that next meal, carnivore, quote, no matter what, right? I will make the next meal happen. I don't know about the rest of my life, but I can handle a meal. When we do discuss addiction with other people who are freeing themselves from that same addiction, she says the prefrontal cortex is engaged, which is the decision-making part of our brain that thinks about our future, as well as the reward center of our brain. It feels good to go, oh, I'm not a moderator either. I mean, I seriously get so happy on these calls hearing from people. She talked about the power of, this was not in the clip, of deep, slow, conscious breathing, where you really focus on just the breathing, especially when your brain feels overwhelmed by either little traumas today or bigger ones long ago. She says the addiction is not you. And at first it's like, well, yeah, I get that. But do we? Because sometimes people think of themselves as bad for going back, for jumping, for being the silly goat, right? Jumping in the ditch. She said, no, this voice pushing you, talking to you, this is not your inner self, your highest, best self. This is not your prefrontal cortex. It is the addiction talking. She says to separate from that and say, this reptilian brain, or lizard brain, as we call it around here, is not me. I can deny this guy, and I will deny him what he wants, but that's not denying myself of what I want. So sometimes we go, oh, I'm not going to have the cookies. I can deny myself today. And we take this on as the martyr syndrome. And instead it's like, I'm going to give myself what I need. What I really need is nutrition, rest, water, nourishment, connection. I need all of that. What this guy needs, I'm going to deny it every time because this is not me. So you don't get what you want. All right. And the last thing she recommended, it was not in the clip, but I'll send you the full hour video. She said, avoid, if you have ever had any addiction to processed foods, sweets, sugar, she said it is imperative to avoid all sweet tastes. They discussed natural sweeteners, artificial sweeteners. She said, if you were an addict, you will almost certainly not be able to handle or moderate sweet taste. And that is me. If you, however, are just here, you're like, I was never really an addict. I could moderate fine. I just need some tips for weight loss. It is possible that you would be able to moderate, say, stevia, right? There are people here who can. I am just not one of them. All right, when it comes to her talking about the long, slow walks, I'll send you the full research article. But they did this cool study looking at brain waves when people hear or discuss their past traumatic events. I mean, you want to talk about changes in the body. Brain waves, heart rate elevates, breath, rapid, short breathing. And then they had people go and do consistent daily exercise, just walking. And they gave that some time. And the group where they did do the daily exercise, movement, just movement, had far less of a reaction then to the mentioning of these past traumas than the people who then reacted the same way. Nothing had changed. So if you want to look into that, I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, this is a video made by Coach Nanette and her husband. Benton Johnson said, take it day by day, and I agree. Around here, we frequently say, build the wall brick by brick.
You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick.
Me too. I mean,
do not know. I have no clue how to do that. I can't do that. My husband was building a brick fireplace in our backyard back in our last house. And he had looked up all these directions on how to build a brick fireplace. I had no idea. I'd never laid a brick one. But he said, would you mind helping? I said, I don't have a clue how to do this. He goes, no, I'm just going to show you how to lay a brick. I said, okay. And frankly, it wasn't that hard. And then he's like, okay, could you just go down the line and repeat that? Yes. Like, I can do that. And so he had a plan. He knew what he was doing. I just laid the bricks. And sure enough, if we didn't build well, it wasn't a wall, it was a fireplace, but it looked really good. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Share time, we're at 38 minutes. We're going to take 10 minutes. 10 minutes. If we can get just even a few people to share their story, that can help us get pumped up. It does not, let me rephrase, not the whole story, okay? Some of you have very incredible stories. I would love to hear more about them on Facebook or in our next meetings where we have more share time. I'm also going to turn on the chat box for those who would like to type not questions right now. We will have Q&A times. This is tell me something cool that happened on Carnivore, even if it's your heels aren't horrible anymore. Okay, and then you can raise a hand. Hi, Susan. I'm going to come back over where I can see. If you don't know how to raise a hand, you can just hit your screen and then find a button that says react, and then it'll say raise hands. All right, Susan Myers, me and you, we're up first. Tell me something good that's happened.
Well, it's a really strange thing. Well, not strange, but it took 3 years on Carnivore to finally notice it. So I didn't have the crusty heel stuff, but I had the, what do you call it? The nail fungal.
Oh, nail fungus. Oh my gosh, I used to get that.
So I had the nail fungus, and then my two hammer toes, the second toe in from the big toes.
Yes.
The nail always like curled growing out, and the skin underneath would be like attached to it.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I figured that's never going to go away. Well, last year playing pickleball, one day I get out of the shower and I'm like doing my feet, because I always take care of my feet after the shower, you know, with the filing and the clipping and the lotion. And I'm like, oh my God, I have normal looking nails for the first time in my life.
Nice.
Like the other nails, the fungal healed like in 6 months on Carnivore, but those two hammer toe nails never healed. I thought I was stuck with that curly nail skin attachment forever, that I always had to like dig with the clippers to get it to.
Yes.
And they're normal.
Isn't that cool? Just little things that you think this isn't how my nails should be. I used to get ingrown toenails so bad.
Yes.
Even as a little kid, my dad would have to sit and, I hate to even say it, but just dig them out. And that was the case, stayed that way. Honest to goodness, changed diet. And now my toenails, no ingrown toenails in all my years of Carnivore. Weird.
I actually enjoy getting a pedicure now.
Now I do enjoy a pedicure. I mostly just like it when they rub my legs at the end, though. Yeah, that's when I realized you don't need the pedicure. You need a massage. That's what I really like. All right. Hi, Renee. Tell me something cool that's happened on Carnivore.
Well, I don't know if it's cool. It's probably gross, but I've had lots of benefit. But the big thing for me was my digestion. I was literally going to the bathroom 7-8 times a day. That was normal. I thought that was normal, right?
Oh,
clean yourself out, right? And I was on high fiber, low fiber, veggies, fruit, the whole thing. I started Carnivore, and within 2 weeks, I go to the bathroom once a day, maybe once every other day.
Awesome.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Think how much more you can accomplish in life.
I know.
That's horrible. Renee, I'm so happy. I would say that digestion is a pretty big one that we hear around here. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Chris. Anything good happened since you started Carnivore?
Oh my God, girl, we don't even have enough time for that. We did the rest of the meeting, ain't enough time for that. But I do want to share. So several of you know I was in a hospital last Monday I didn't get a chance to update everybody. I'll do that after tonight. But I was kind of on my pity pot the other day because I'm wearing a heart monitor for 2 weeks and all this stuff that they tell you have to have when you're leaving the hospital. But you find out they really didn't find anything. Anyways, I was at the grocery store. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to trigger anybody, but I saw these bag of these extra dark fried crispy things that I used to eat by the bag full. And because I was like, why am I trying to do all this stuff to get healthy? My A1C is good. I'm almost off my diabetes, but all this great stuff. And I thought, why am I doing this? At my age. And I thought I could just buy these. And then I was like, what would Kelly say? And I was like, and what would my people say in my Monday group? And I thought, you know what? You don't really want those. I could just start eating whatever again, but I don't want that because I don't feel good when I'm doing it. Yes. So the biggest thing of carnivore is just helping me feel good and feeling like I do deserve to live the rest of my life being more healthy. So that's my big thing. But yes, I don't have enough time to tell you all the benefits, the weight loss, the fasting insulin down, A1C down. It's great. It's my way.
That's so cool. What a great story. I love you, sister. Hey, you know what I just realized, Chris? I just realized that I'm asking people to type in the chat box and it was still turned off. Is it on now? Meeting group chat. Yes. Anybody can post now. Okay. And we'll just do that for the next few minutes because then I'm going to get back over to sharing some things. Hi, Rachel. Tell us something that changed on carnivore.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, okay, so many things, but I'll tell you one thing. I can focus at work.
Oh.
That is so wonderful. I don't have to put the binaural brain waves and drink 2 cups of coffee and stress myself out about something in order to have enough adrenaline to focus. Yeah. I can just sit down at work, start on a task, and just be focused for an hour, 2 hours. That is something that I could not do. I mean, I still struggle with attention because I can be, I got to do this thing, and then I'm off, you know, but actually pretty habitually day in and day out, I can sit down at my desk and I can just work. That is, I can't tell you how much of a relief to anxiety it is to be able to just sit down and focus and work. And that's even going into anxiety, depression, that's been cleared up. I lost 68 pounds, all those, the blood markers have improved. I mean, there's so many things. But being able to sit down and focus at work is such a godsend.
Oh, so. Rachel, what a list, baby. That's a good one. There are a lot of people medicated for exactly that these days. Yes. So much Ritalin, and my brother was on it when he was younger, and side effects that come with it. So, yeah, I'm really happy for you. Hi, Paula.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Good.
So I just started on the Lion diet last Tuesday. And finally, my scale is moving. I'm 7 pounds down.
Yes.
I am feeling amazing. However, my swelling hasn't gone down, which is kind of weird. And I started on my vibration plate, and I'm doing the lymphatic massages like you taught us last week.
Yes.
So I'm happy that things are moving in the right direction. I'm not hungry, but I'm still eating because you told me I have to eat. So I'm eating at least 2.5 steaks a day. And when I can't get the steak in, I do the burgers. But I'm really feeling very good about this now. I just want the swelling to go away. That's,
Well, it's been only a week.
The scale's moving.
Yes, that's great. So, Paula, if I'm remembering correctly, you were a way under eater, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Way where I sort of teased and said, "Oh my gracious!"
Well, you were like, "Oh my God,
my dog eats more than this, Paula." Right. So I'm so happy that you are eating more and that your body is now going, "Oh, hold on, we aren't starving to death. Maybe we dropped 7 pounds in a week." That's incredible.
I can't even believe it. I was so shocked when I stepped on that scale because I'm used to disappointment, right? So I stepped on the scale and I was like, "Wait, that's not right."
That's great.
It was Yeah, it was amazing. I was really happy about it.
And I really do suspect that with the weight coming down and with you sticking to lion diet, that the inflammation is going to keep. It's only been a week, so I predict very good things with the swelling. Okay, I have one hand left up. Bridget, let's do it. Tell me something that's happened with carnivore, and then we'll get back. I am happy to see that some people are posting in the chat box. Oh, make sure we're unmuted. Sherry is off diabetes.
There we go.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to say really quick, I got really strict carnivore like June and July, and I had these cysts. They were probably about the size of a golf ball around my ankles, right on my ankle bones.
Oh, no.
And nobody ever knew what was wrong with it. And I have noticed in the past few months, they're almost gone, completely gone. They don't hurt or anything. Nobody could ever figure out what it was. But now it's just gone.
Amazing. I mean, like, thank you, Lord. That's amazing. That's so cool. I'm thrilled. Thank you for sharing that. Hey, for everybody that piped up today in the chat box or shared, I'm so sorry it took me so long to turn the chat box on. I really thought I clicked it. We're going to get back over. I have a few things more I want to share. If one of my co-hosts would just check the mute situation. Okay. Last month, I spent a lot of time in our first session teaching the group how to track food. And in fact, I talked about it so much in session 1 that afterwards I thought, people said it was helpful, but I thought this was basically a carb manager tutorial, and I really didn't like that. So I recorded it. I will send you the YouTube video today. It was actually on YouTube. Some of you may have seen it. I really talked through how to track food in Carb Manager. And I'm not going to do it today. I'm not, because honestly, the primary issue that I see month after month has been breaking the addiction and staying consistent. And if you want to learn how to track food, there's a video for that. Okay, very quickly on to the handbook. At the top, you'll find quick links that has the TDEE, Carb Manager, some videos on how to use those tools, links to my favorite products. I don't know, a lot of, I think, fairly important stuff there. In chapter 1, if you want to know how to get lab work drawn, how to handle social situations, just getting started kind of stuff, recipes, click whatever sounds like it could be important to you. If you are struggling with the addiction piece, please go to chapter 2. And I have an idea for you. Especially if you're at home and you are triggered by either a commercial, a thought, an emotion, a smell, your husband crunching something on the couch, I would just try to come to this chapter and I would go to either 20 tips for breaking up with sugar and listen to that video, or go to responses to the lizard brain or listen to the video. Go to additional resources. There's a whole bunch of videos. And you can even say to yourself, if I still want it this bad after I watch that one video, and a lot of them are short, 20 minutes. If you still want it that bad afterwards, then you can reconsider. Like, I have to jump through this hoop first. And very often 20 minutes is way more than enough time for your prefrontal cortex to kick in and to be like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. Maybe tomorrow. If you already know all about addiction, you're over it, done with it, you've been doing carnivore, you're great, you would just like to get rid of some body fat, we will talk about it this month, but chapter 3 is in your inbox already. You can go and look at some food tracking stuff. I would start right there, reduce body fat. And then if you can't commit to reading 4 pages, there's a 1-page version here. But we'll talk about it some in my breakout rooms. There are lots of other chapters. If emotional eating was right up your alley, or you're struggling with sleep or digestion, it's not that we won't discuss it, but sometimes if you're having diarrhea right now, you might not want to wait till session 2 to jump into chapter 6. I get that. There is a chapter that has to do with some carnivores who have also added a low and slow dose of GLP. I talked through some nuances on that. I have never used the GLP, but I live with someone who has, and I have some really good carnivore friends who have. If you want to know sort of the pros, the cons, what it's about, how to get it, there is chapter 13 there for you if you are interested. Now, this last bit, This is heavy, and she gave me chills, and she broke my heart a little bit. And I also thought to myself, I could have absolutely made this video.
I think about being smaller every single day. It's the biggest thing on my mind. I've never been a small girl in any sense of the word. Not my body, not my shoe size, not my height, not my personality, not the decibel I speak at, not the echo of my laugh. I've always wished to be smaller in all ways, but mostly in one way. And there's proof of it everywhere. In the paint chip on the wall that I've kicked my bathroom scale into when the number on it wasn't small enough. In my notes app with my measurements that haven't gotten any smaller since the last time I checked them. The smaller clothes in a donation bag that I reluctantly give away, even though I should know by now that a smaller body might not be meant for me if it's a fight every day to keep it. And the thought of being small is not small at all. Oh, do I wish it were. It towers over me while I brush my teeth and stare at my body in the mirror each morning. It's larger than the amount of protein I try to pack in each day and louder than the music blaring in my ears at the gym, while I desperately try to do one thing and one thing only. Being small is my biggest dictator, and I know that years of people pointing out my lack of smallness made me feel as small as can be, and I only wish that the sticks and stones could have shrunk me physically instead of mentally, but that has never been the case. And it's funny because no one that matters to me has ever wished for me to be smaller, or shorter, or to wear a different shoe size. They've never asked me to speak a smaller amount of words or laugh in a smaller tone, or talked among themselves about my shirt not being a size small. The people that are larger than life to me don't need me to be small. They don't want me to either. They want me to be exactly how I am. And I wonder if my smallness will ever be a small thing, because the heaviness of wanting to be lighter is something I have not spent a day not carrying. Because I know for certain the day will come that I regret in big ways spending so much time missing both the big and small things for fear I wasn't small enough to be worthy of them.
For fear that I wasn't small enough to be worthy of those things. I was not small at all growing up. In fact, I still wear a size 12 wide, extra wide if I can find them shoe. And I remember my grandma who, she loved me dearly. She was not even trying to be mean. She just said, because I'd been really working on trying to lose weight. This was before carnivore. This was one of the previous bajillion times. And she said, honey, you are never going to be a small person. And that, I think, was her trying to say, don't beat yourself up. You're just not small. And she accepted it. What she didn't say maybe in that moment, but I knew was, and I love you anyway. What it felt was, you're never going to be what you want to be. And it felt very defeating. I want to be very clear here. I am not anti-weight loss. I used to be in a much bigger body, and I'm very thankful that now I'm not. I want to help you to reach those goals as well. There will be numbers and spreadsheets for those that are interested. I understand the desperation to get there all too well. But also, the truth is, if we keep waiting for this moment when we hit our goal weight, and I want you to know I had a number in mind once upon a time, and I did reach that number. I had somebody today say, Kelly, I hit my goal weight yesterday, and nobody but me knew. There was no party. There was nothing changed. And I said, exactly. And typically what happens when we hit that number, then we say to ourselves, well, maybe I think I can still see I need to lose 5 more. Or then it's, but now my skin is loose. Oh gosh, now I don't look muscular enough. Now, then it's your face. Now my face looks hollow. And now, we can pick ourselves apart. I've known many people who say, I'm not going to share my story on YouTube or Instagram until I get to my goal. You're not going to be there. If you're not there now and you don't accept where we've come so far, I have had to work through the feeling of this emptiness when you do hit that number, and then you find that you just set more and more, the carrot dangles, the bacon dangles further and further away, right? Because you're never going to reach this perfection. And we wait so long to live until then, when we're not going to really get there. And also, I think we think when we get to that spot, this maintenance mode, that it means we're going to just ride off into the sunset, hit the pause button and coast, because now we've hit our goal and now we're in maintenance mode. It's all a lie. Every single thing that I had to do to get here, I'm still doing it, and I'm not coasting. I am still trying to tighten up my arms. There's going to be somebody who says all the time, oh, well, now you're too skinny. Now you look too weak. Now you're too this. Your hips are still big. Do you have divots in your hips? Do you have cellulite? You're never going to meet this magical thing that says, you are now enough to be loved. You're now enough to go out and have fun and play and wear the bathing suit and enjoy your life and your body. If you're waiting on this nirvana to occur, it's going to be really disappointing. I'm definitely not there yet. So then there's Karen Miles. Karen is one of our coaches in the group. She used to be about 60 pounds heavier. She is still very slowly losing weight. She has months where she loses nothing. She's had months where the scale goes up some. And you know what she did in those months? She sat on her couch and cried. I'm just kidding. She did not. Karen Miles puts on her adorable pickle skirt, which she rocks, by the way. She goes out. She could kick my booty in pickleball because she puts herself out there. She kayaks. She hikes. She takes silly pictures. She smiles big. She gets down and plays around with the grandkids. She wears a bathing suit. She's just out there living life, and everyone loves her. I talked to Annie about this today. I said, you know, Karen, and she's like, yeah, that's the initial reaction. Yeah, she just loves her. So I want you right now to maybe imagine somebody that in your life, maybe as a child, maybe now, at any point, when they come around, you feel happier, you feel loved, you feel like, oh, it's so and so. I love being around them. Is that because they're at their goal weight? Is it because they don't have crow's feet? Is it because they have no loose skin? Clearly not. Someday, if I am in a casket, if somebody comes walking by and says anything about, oh, good, she stayed at her goal weight, then I have failed as a human, right? These are the least interesting things about us that the people who love us don't care about. For our health, does it matter to get off that 100 or 50 pounds? It really does. And again, I'm here for that. I want to help you with it. But I would love it if we could say, you know what? I'm not at my goal weight, and I'm going to go to the gym and act like I own the place. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to smile really big, and I'm going to enjoy my life in the meantime, right? The world can wait just a little while longer for a smaller version of you. I promise. Okay. If that means I need to nourish myself and reverse diet right now, they can wait a little longer. Right. Hope you don't mind the soapbox. I've sent you the TDE in the handbook. I'll send it right after this meeting. I hope it helped to see some fellow carnivores, to know that people have made it through addiction, to see the chat box, and maybe something I said made a difference as well. It is 8:00, which means I'm going to quickly go over this homework. You thought I was going to say you got out of it, didn't you? Okay, number one, let's stick to what we said we were going to do. If you haven't committed to anything out loud on the Facebook page or to me or to your group, that's not accountability. We have to know. Just tell us, even if it's one thing. I'm going to walk 10 minutes after dinner, or I'm only going to do carnivore. That's perfect. That's amazing. Secondly, if you can, find the handbook. It'll be, I think, the third link down on my email today, right after this meeting. Open it. If anything looks interesting, feel free to click. And if you're already doing carnivore, this is very specific, so listen up. If you need my help troubleshooting a weight loss stall, then I'm going to ask you to gather some data for me. Either get the Carb Manager app or any food tracking app. If you don't know how to track food, maybe watch that video that I'm going to send out. I'll send another one this week just to prep you for next week's meeting. And if you want to just do it with a notebook, write down what you're doing now, so then we can compare it to the TDEE and troubleshoot. If you show up and say, I don't know why I'm not losing weight, I'm probably going to be like, well, me neither, sister. Like, what are we doing? Just having some food logs. It's easier if it's in an app because it'll tell you your average calories. It'll tell you your macros. And if you don't need help troubleshooting right now, you're just enjoying meat or you're just getting started, that's all I want you to do. Eat meat that you love and that makes you feel great. You don't need to track a thing. Okay, everybody. The way we end our meetings here, good to see you again. I like coming back and seeing your faces. Everybody good? We okay? Okay. That last one was a little heavy. Did it hit home for anybody? I mean, for real, for me. I like to have everybody unmute. We say goodbye, and then if you do stick around, then we'll have a word of prayer together. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
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 Bye,
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Some of you
Hope
are
you're
looking
doing
so
well,
good.
Valerie.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
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 Oh, was Valerie on this call?
Bye.
Oh,
Yes,
bye,
yes, she was.
Oh, I miss little Valerie. Bye, Valerie. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.